This is the City of Waupaca, first Tuesday of the month, City Council meeting.
All right, let's get going. I was kind of holding off to see if one of our members was going to show up here, but I guess we'll move forward. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's meetings. We're going to start with a public hearing. Just to give you, you probably already know this, but so the timing of what we're going to do tonight is that we're going to do the public hearing. We're going to start the city council meeting, and then we'll take a break and just do our walk down Main Street. Justin's prepared to lead us down there and just explain things to us. And I have no idea how long it's going to take. I mean, I'm guessing a half an hour, but we'll see how fast you can walk.
Come on, we're kind of old here, Justin. See how long you got?
Right?
Well, we have no issues with Justin being able to talk, so it will be the walk part of it.
Get that together.
All right, so I'll call this public hearing to order. In attendance, we have Dave Peterson, Eric Olson, Paul Mayo, Dimitri Martin, how did I do that? Colin Dykstra, sorry. We have Alan Keelan online here with Teams, Lori Chestnut, Scott Perchatsky, and Mary Fair. And so the only one that's not here at this time is Paul Hagan. And then the purpose of the hearing is in your packet on the second page there. I'll read it real quick. It's a short one. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 17 of the zoning code. Notice is hereby given that the Common Council of the City of Waupaca will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers of the City Hall, 111 South Main Street, Waupaca, Wisconsin, to hear testimony on whether to change the language in Chapter 17 of the Municipal Code zoning ordinance. The hearing will be the purpose of giving an opportunity for any person interested, their attorneys or agents to be heard. A copy of the proposed change may be obtained from the Community and Economic Development Department. So this was posted on July 15th and July 22nd. So that was the public notice. Aaron, you want to just, I don't know if Jeff's on or not, but you want to just explain why we're proposing this amendment?
Yeah, this is I think this actually came forward at the last meeting as well. It was discussed. This is a third kind of round of changes and amendments to the zoning code, which was updated last November. A couple of the highlights are some multi-tenant signage and some other types of signage in the downtown business districts. I believe historical signage is in there. Jeff, any other highlights? There are a lot of other just kind of cleanups in that ordinance, but can you think of anything else that is worth noting?
I think the one where we spent the most time in discussion were ground signs downtown, removing the setback and allowing for 150 square feet per side.
Correct. Yep.
Thanks, Jeff. I guess I should have looked up on the screen. I could have seen you. All right. Thank you. So at this time, we would take testimony in favor of change or amending this ordinance. If you would like to speak on this, step up to the podium, give your name and address for the record, limit your time to 3 minutes or less. Any testimony in favor of? Any testimony in opposition? If not, I'll declare this hearing closed at 6:06 p.m. Been a long time since we've had absolutely nobody in the audience. Yeah. All right, let's go right to the council meeting then. Welcome everybody to our regular city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, and it's 6:07 p.m. We are meeting in the council chambers, but we are also meeting virtually I'll call this meeting to order, and as always, let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and then we'll have Sandy read the open meeting statement for us.
This meeting and all meetings of the Common Council are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin state statutes, so the citizens may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting.
And also take roll for Sandy.
Brian Smith,
Here.
Colin Dykstra,
Here.
Lori Chestnut,
Here.
Paul Hagan, Alan Keeland,
Here.
Scott Perchatsky,
Here.
Dave Peterson,
Here.
Paul Mayo,
Here.
Dimitri Martin,
Here.
Mary Fair,
Here.
and Eric Olson.
Here.
9 present, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Sandy. And I just want to mention that Alan Keelan is actually meeting with us virtually tonight. And I also want to introduce, of course, staff, as we have done at every meeting, and we'll continue to do that. And again, I'll start on my left. We have our City Administrator, Aaron Jensen, Kathy Kaza, our Finance Director, Peg Burrington, our Library Director, City Attorney Tom Hart, Justin Behrens, our Public Works Director, Andrew Whitman, Parks and Recreation Director, Chief Hozell, Brian Hozell, and then I know Josh is in the back, our IT and Community Media Director, and then, of course, Sandy Stibbs, our Clerk. And then we have, virtually, we also have our Zoning Administrator, Jeff Sanders, with us. All right, so officially, I guess we need to make a motion to recess the council meeting so that we can start our tour of Main Street. So if I could get a motion just to approve that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Chestnut, second by Peterson, that we approve recessing the council so that we could take a tour of the North Main Street, the finished part of, or almost finished part of North Main Street. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. So we are in recess at 6:10 PM. And we'll just meet right up in front. We can all walk up there together, of course, and then Justin will lead us on the tour. For those of you that are watching us virtually or on Facebook, you'll know that we were in recess and we took a walk on North Main Street and then also had a chance to look at the alleyways down on North Main Street also. So we're going to need a motion to reconvene into session, if I could get a motion.
Move to reconvene. Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Olson, to reconvene back into session. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. We are back in session at 6:50 PM. All right, you have a consent agenda in front of you. These are items where we take and vote on them with one motion unless you see an item on there that you would like to individually discuss. And then we would move it from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. Is there anybody that would like to see anything moved to the regular agenda? If not, we need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Chestnut, second by Martin, that we approve the consent agenda as printed. Discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Sorry, I gotta go a little slower with Alan there. Okay, next up under the regular agenda, nothing new to distribute, but please, look at item number 10. Number 10, small letter A. We are tabling this at this time. There's some additional information that is needed, and you'll see this again, this request again. I heard tonight that will probably be the first meeting in September that we'll talk about this. But I'd ask that if you approve the regular agenda, that you withdraw that request for 10A there. We need a motion to approve.
Move to approve the agenda and withdraw item 10A.
Motion by Martin,
Second.
second by Fair, that we approve the regular agenda with that one deletion. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. All right, next up, we have a presentation of a certificate of appreciation to Sherry Knight for her 5 years of service to the city. Sherry is the individual that sits at the front desk in the clerk's office, and I have her certificate right here. I'll just read it real quick. Sherry is not here tonight. Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Sherry Knight in recognition of 5 years of service to the citizens of Waupaca. And then signed by the mayor and also council president Paul Mayo. And then we also have a certificate of appreciation for someone that is here tonight, and that's for Josh Warner for his 10 years of service to the city. And I don't know if Josh is gonna come out and accept it. There we go.
Begrudgingly.
Same thing, certificate of appreciation for the 10 years of service that we received from Josh. Josh, thank you. Oh, 35, oh, you can only have 35 years. 35 plus 65. I won't be here. Okay. Thank you, Josh, for your service so far, and appreciate that. Next up, we have Marcy Reynolds here is tonight, and she has a proclamation for the 2021 Arts Appreciation Month, and we are supposed to read that into record. Is Marcy reading that into record?
I think you are.
I am. Okay. I think Aaron is.
Okay, somebody, I don't have it, so.
He's got it better.
All right, Arts Appreciation Month. Whereas the Waupaca community has a long history of volunteers coming together to promote the arts and arts appreciation. From a few dedicated people working to provide artistic exposure to the community, our arts community has grown to include a very sizable artist community and many different arts organizations and arts-related businesses of all kinds. Whereas the arts not only provide entertainment, self-expression, and community building, but also create environments that promote innovation, curiosity, and ingenuity, exposure to many different kinds of artistic expressions. Their expression stimulates the development of creative solutions to both new and old challenges, and a thinking outside the box mentality that is so vitally needed in today's world. Whereas the many different arts organizations and arts-related businesses in our area enhance our economy, bring in many tourist dollars, and make our community a more vital, robust, and dynamic place to live and visit. Our active arts community is a wonderful human complement to the natural beauty for which we have long been known. Whereas it is more than appropriate to honor and celebrate our dynamic and thriving artistic community with the month of August as Arts Appreciation Month. Now, therefore, I, Brian Smith, Mayor of the City of Waupaca, do hereby proclaim the month of August as Arts Appreciation Month, launching yet another entire year of arts endeavors by our creative community.
All right, so we had a nice segue to this, quite honestly, by taking a walk on North Main Street and also in the alley. And so I'll turn it over to Marcy.
Thank you very much. I love the way that's all worded, and it gets read every year for many years during August, but every year it seems to be more meaningful and authentic to what we're doing here in Waupaca. Not just the Community Arts Board, but all of the groups that are working together in the Arts Network and beyond to make Waupaca an arts destination. So this year, I think we are really over the top with it, with the murals and the poetry and the other murals that were not done by the Arts Board. The collaboration of different community members on those committees, especially the Sidewalk Poetry Committee, was really a collaborative effort. Mary Fair was on that committee, and they did a phenomenal job of
Justin Behrens.
Justin Behrens. And the thing is they made that project be something that can stand up to cities like St. Paul, because they had a really great process for submitting poems and for approving them, and they had a really very good jury that was qualified. So I think that is also important to remember is that we're reaching higher standards than ever before. And so I'm very proud to be part of the arts community, and I thank you all for supporting us. Come to Arts on the Square. Look at our website. Booklets will be out at the end of the week, and we're really looking forward to a great festival. And thanks again to the city for all of the help that you've given us to get it going in an alternate site. We know it wasn't easy, so thank you very much.
Marcy, you want to just give the dates real quick of the?
Sure. We're having our kickoff on Sunday, August 15th, out on the square in the gazebo, and then events all throughout the week, and the street dance, which is actually a parking lot dance this year, at the rec center on Friday the 20th, and then the festival on the 21st. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marcy.
Buy a t-shirt.
All right, excellent. All right, let's move on then. We have a presentation of the Waupaca Municipal Airport's annual report, and Beth is on with us virtually because she is the only one at the airport tonight. So if there's a plane coming down, she might have to leave us for a minute or so. But welcome, Beth.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Council. So we had a very eventful year at the airport. We've had quite a few events and quite a few people, so it's been very exciting here. In April, we had the Fox Valley Sports Club come in and had a two-day event. They actually had, the first day they had 80 cars, 88 participants. Sunday there was 83 participants with a different 80 set of cards. We also received $1,000 for those at that event. Back in May, Chapter 444 had what's called a Learn to Fly event. They had 22 people and 4 possible new students for our airport that day. In May, the library it had hosted the Wisconsin Kiters at the airport for the first time. We had about 800 people here that day. That ran from about 10 to 3. Early June, we had the drive-in movie with the Park and Rec Recreation Department. We had about 65 cars and approximately 120 people. June 15th, we had the 444 hosted their first hamburger social of the year. We had about 50 people and about 18 planes come in for that. June 20th, Father's Day pancake breakfast. They had over 800 or about 800 people, and they're hoping to get 1,000 next year. So that's wonderful for an event that's from 7 a.m. to noon. So it's a lot of people coming through. In June, we were going to have that half-mile rivals, but we're still working with FAA and BOA to be able to host them at our airport. So we're still working on that paperwork. It's going to take a while. Hopefully by next year we'll get them in here. And August 2nd, which was this past Monday, we hosted Dream Flights with the Waupaca Caregivers Coalition sponsoring veterans this year. There was a total of 7 veterans that were supposed to fly. Due to a few complications and 1 illness, they were actually able to fly 4 out of the 7 people. So it was very nice to have the World War II veterans at the airport. So that was great. And then the two events that are coming up, we are having a celebration of life for the instructor that we had here since 1993. He was the main mechanic instructor, and I called him the airport guru because whatever he needed to know, he was the man to go to. So we're having a celebration of life for him on August 7th. The nice part is all the friends of Richard are getting together. We are going to have a 4-foot granite bench in his honor at the airport for him. And then in August, also, we're going to host the Humane Society for I think it's their second year for the rummage sale. So they're going to be able to do their drop-offs the 13th through the 16th, and then their sale is going to be the 19th through the 21st. As for other stuff going on at the airport, we're working with the BOA. We did get a bid for the snow removal equipment, so that was awarded to Sadurski's for that bid. We are still waiting on when we'll have delivery and everything for that. And other than that, the EAA was very successful. I mean, it was slower than most years. It was busy enough for the few people that I had on staff this year. We did gain, even though we did lose the Cherokees to Oshkosh this year, we did gain a lot more jets. So fuel between the what you'd say the 100 low lead and the Jet A pretty much evened itself out. So things just kind of more switched around. So we didn't really lose or gain anything. But to me, it was a very successful year. A lot of great people. We were able to get about $346 worth of donations to the airport too, for just people being thankful for us being here and for helping them out. And I also just want to thank the city and the board. I did put in my resignation for leaving the airport. I have had several people looking forward to trying to bid for my job, so there's probably gonna be a lot of people showing up at the city hall asking questions regarding that when the time comes. And I also just wanted to let everybody know, with my aircrafts being sold and the hangar being sold, that the instructor that has been working with me for the last year does have a plane on the grounds, and she is instructing, and very successfully instructing, even for a part-time flight instructor. So we do still offer flight instruction at the airport, so nothing has changed there also. So, and if anybody has any questions, then I'll answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Anybody have any questions? Paul Hagan, any comments? No? Okay. Well, Beth, thank you. Appreciate it. Get back to work.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye. All right, next up, as you can see in your packet, and we actually sent this out in a mailing when we received this, but Attorney Tom Hart has told us in writing that he is not going to renew his contract with the city when it's up on January 15th of 2022. So under our agreement, we would need to accept that termination, and just so we have it on file. So we would be looking for a motion to approve accepting Tom Hart's request to terminate this contract effective January 15th of 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Chestnut. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We'll still see Tom for a few more months here, so. Tom, thank you. All right, next up, we have public input. This is non-agenda items. Anybody that would like to speak to us on an item that's not on the agenda, please step up to the podium, give your name and address for the record, and limit your time at the podium to 3 minutes or less.
I would like to say something,
Yeah,
Mayor.
Paul, go ahead.
Okay. I had a constituent who I have to listen to because she's very important to me, my wife, say that she thought it would be very helpful to have a lower speed limit through the library parking lot because there's people that appear to be flying through there with the detour. So she wanted that recommendation known. So it might not be a bad idea.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Give us a little bit of time. We'll talk to the chief and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Quite honestly. There. Okay, any other public input?
Mayor, I received one.
Oh, yeah.
That I need to read? Okay. I received a public input from Nancy Coyley, 777 Woodland Circle. She says, I have been wanting to attend a city council meeting, but summer has proven to be very busy, so I am sending this email. I live on Woodland Circle by Swan Park and have lived here for 11 years. I am still not used to the train whistles. When buying my home, I hadn't noticed the noise. A few years ago, I stopped by City Hall to ask who I should speak with about what can be done to address this, and I was told that I'd have to talk with Canadian National, which didn't make sense. Clearly, I was given incorrect information. The train whistles are pervasive within our community of Waupaca, and I've noticed that with the removal of trees in our area, the sound is only increasing. I am writing to bring before the council the proposal of looking into making the various crossings in the Waupaca area non-whistle crossings, as each have crossing guards at the tracks. I understand that there are regulations regarding doing this. I am requesting that the city council commit funds to look into making this change for our community. Removing the whistles will enhance the atmosphere of Waupaca, adding to the things that make our community desirable to live in, visit, and work in. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Any other public input? All right, let's move on to unfinished business then. We have ordinance number 08-2021. This is an ordinance amending 17.102 of the zoning district map as is allowed for under 17.7, and this is the second reading. We got Aaron's name on here. Is Jeff still on here? Is that?
Jeff is still on, so Mayor, if you don't mind just kicking it to him.
Yeah, Jeff, you want to just
Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to. Aaron, would you mind reminding me what this item is?
This one is, hold on a sec here.
I was prepared for item 10E under new business. This one I must have missed. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is the old Service Master property. That's
1043 Royalton Street, two properties currently zoned B5 district. They're to be divided so that the two existing structures can be sold separately. In order to do the division, we needed to consider a rezone to B1 district, which has lesser setbacks, side yard setbacks. Under the B5 district, we couldn't meet the setback requirements. The Service Master building that Aaron is mentioning is soon to be purchased and opening, I believe it's Restoration Experts. It's a similar business. We're recommending the zoning change from B5 to B1. The comp plan will be amended to make sure that that zoning change is consistent. We're not doing it after the fact as much as we are addressing an oversight in the adoption of the comp plan future land use map, which should have identified that as appropriate for B1 and did not. So I'd be happy to answer any questions the Plan Commission has, or excuse me, the council has, now that I know what I'm talking about.
Anybody have any questions? I think it's pretty straightforward. We all know where the discussion points are. So Jeff, thank you for explaining that to us. This is the second reading. Sandy, Aaron, or Jeff, you have not heard anything from the public against this proposal?
No.
No, sir.
All right, so we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Second.
Was that Alan? I'm sorry. Who said, oh, motion by Dave Peterson, second by Eric Olson that we approve. Ordinance number 10, 20, oh, where am I? 08-2021. I'm on the wrong page on my iPad. Any further discussion? It is a ordinance change, so we need a roll call vote.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
Lori Chestnut.
Aye.
Paul Hagan.
Aye.
Alan Keeland.
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky.
Aye.
Dave Peterson.
Aye.
Paul Mayo.
Aye.
Dimitri Martin.
Aye.
Mary Fair.
Aye.
And Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
All right, here's another ordinance on its second reading. This is ordinance number 10-2021. It's an ordinance amending section 12.02, parent 5, parent E of the Waupaca Municipal Code. And Aaron, I get your name on here again.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor Smith. So again, talked about this a couple weeks ago, but this is in relation to the requirement to have separate entrances for the sale of liquor and Class A liquor and fermented malt beverages. This would remove that requirement to the exterior, and it would allow convenience stores, grocery stores, any commercial like that in that capacity to have that entrance from the inside. You can see under A there, it has the width of that entrance specified. That kind of designates a separate area for those types of sales. The 10 feet, no wider than 10 feet, no narrower than 3. The licensee shall designate cash registers for the sale of all fermented malt beverages and liquor, which must be staffed by an individual holding a bartender's license. So that doesn't mean that it has to be right directly in that area, but if they are at a checkout wherever they are, they have that the staff member would have to hold that bartender's license and meet all state statute requirements. And then really they have to keep everything within that designated area, so it can't be scattered all around the store or convenience store. So that's kind of just a recap of what we talked about a couple weeks ago. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Refresh my memory. Was there someone who wanted to build something different, which is why we're changing this?
This was actually, we had talked about it as staff a little bit over the past 6 to 8 months, but earlier this spring, one of our business owners, Scott Newman, who owns Piggly Wiggly, came forward, gave public input, and just expressed how it presented a challenging situation to him with extra staff, less revenue, things like that.
I remember when this was, and there's probably others who do remember when this was done, and that the main reason for it was so that law enforcement would be able to better identify people going into the liquor establishment, and that was kind of the main reason for it, and it was thought of very strongly at that time that was a good reason. So I'm just wondering, what has changed, I guess.
Well, I know that we've included Chief Ozell in this conversation before we brought it forward, and there was no major concerns with your officer's operations or policing with this type of change. I guess I can't speak to what it was prior, but.
Any other discussion? Again, I'll ask the same question here. This is the second reading. Aaron or Sandy, if you had anybody that has contacted the city that has opposed this ordinance change?
I have not.
Me neither.
Okay, so we would be looking for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Fair, that we approve ordinance number 10-1021. It's an ordinance amending 12.02, parent 5, parent E of the Waupaca Municipal Code. Any further discussion? Again, ordinance, yeah, go ahead, Colin.
Would this, adopting this ordinance put anybody out of, I don't know what the correct term is, but will it cause somebody to have to change the way they're set up now? Will it incur a cost? I don't know if they're out of compliance or if you have some sort of term. That was my only concern about it.
Great question. No, we did have that discussion, and we did actually make some amendments to make sure it did not.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? Sandy will call the roll.
Colin Dykstra,
I approve.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
All right, next up, we have ordinance number 12-2021. 2021, this is an ordinance amending the official traffic map of the city of Waupaca as it pertains to changing street signs. And this, again, is the second reading, and Justin, you're on this one.
Thank you, Mayor. So yeah, second reading of this ordinance, we maintain an official street map. To make changes to that street map officially, we have to put it in ordinance form. These signs address the changes to Main Street. We just walked there. Granite Street intersection with Main is finished. Fulton is mostly done, and Union and Badger to come in the future. The changes that these are applying is that Granite Street intersection going from a 2 stop sign controlled intersection to a 4-way. Session Street had additional signs to be controlled as a 1-way. Fulton and Badger will no longer be controlled by a signalized intersection, but now or in the future, a 4-way stop configuration. So we need these adopted and approved to go on our official map so that police have enforcement authority.
All right, thanks, Justin. So we'd be looking for a motion to approve this.
Move to
ordinance.
approve.
Second.
Motion by Martin, second by Chestnut, that we approve ordinance number 12-2021, an ordinance amending the official traffic map of the city of Waupaca as it pertains to street signs. Any discussion? Sandy, will call the roll.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
All right, under new business, remember we tabled 10A. So we are looking at 10B, and this has to do with aircraft hangar lot lease between the city of Waupaca and Matthew and Brittany Klatt, effective August 1st of 2021. Paul, we got your name on this, but this is pretty clear. Got anything you need to add to that?
No.
Okay. So we'd be looking for a motion to approve this lot lease.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hagan, second by Chestnut, that we approve entering into an aircraft hangar lot lease between the city of Waupaca and Matthew and Brittany Klatt, post-effective August 1st, 2021. Discussion? Again, this is a contract, so we'll need a roll call vote.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Alan Keeland. Alan Keeland,
Got a big muskie.
Alan Keeland. He might be muted.
Alan, can you hear us?
Okay.
Okay.
Thumbs up. Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
All right, one more hangar lot lease. This is between the city and Philip Thompson, but this does not become effective until September 1st of 2021. So again, we would need a motion to approve.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hagan, second by Martin, that we approve entering into an aircraft hangar lot lease between the city of Waupaca and Philip Thompson effective September 1st, 2021. Discussion? Amy, will call the roll.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
All right, next up, we have mayor's appointment. So I'll turn this over to Council President Paul Mayo.
Thank you, Mayor. The mayor appoints Charlotte Murray to the Senior Center Advisory Board to replace Bob Tronson. At this time, I need a motion to approve the mayor's appointment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Olson, second by Peterson, to approve the mayor's appointment of Charlotte Murray to the Senior Center Advisory Board. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Back to you, Mayor.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Some first readings now of some ordinance changes. This one has to do with zoning. Ordinance number 09-2021. This is an ordinance amending chapter 17 of the City of Waupaca zoning. And as I said, this is the first reading. And Jeff, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Aaron mentioned prior to the public hearing, this is housekeeping changes that had to be addressed. Mostly it's sign permit oriented and sign oriented. Mainly the signs are establishing some protections or incentives for protection for historic wall signs, establishing a 0-foot setback and a 150 square foot per side sign area for signs within the B2 and B7 districts. Also defining or clarifying that change in copy does not require a sign permit. And I believe that's it.
All right. Anybody have any questions about this ordinance change?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How does this address the concerns that have been brought up by the owners of Main Street Marketplace?
This does not address those concerns. This was in process and in progress before that has come up. So this does not, that's a canopy sign, and this does not have that language in there.
So what Alderperson Dimitri Martin is talking about is that the council and some of the staff received an email from owner on Main Street Marketplace, concerned about the sign ordinances as he redid his canopy. And I did actually send a reply to him, and I think most of you saw my reply to him. And our plan is, even though this is a zoning code, obviously, our plan is to discuss everything that we think maybe doesn't make sense, and this is maybe one of those items. I think it is one of those items that probably doesn't make sense at its current, the way it's currently written. So City Planning Commission will be taking this up, not at tomorrow's meeting, but in September. So we will be discussing that. Okay, so again, let's go back to this ordinance. This was just the first reading, so we'll see this again at our next meeting, which is on the 17th of this month. Then we have also ordinance number 1121. Am I right? Okay. 1121. This is an ordinance creating section 10.0516 of the City of Waupaca Municipal Code. Now, even though you've seen this before, this is still the first reading, and Aaron and I think, Tom, I think maybe you can help us explain why it's still the first reading and the changes that we made.
Thank you, Mayor. So I guess the easy answer to that question is this was kind of a substantial change in form as to what was initially presented. One big change was we are not speaking in terms of wattage, but in lumens. Ordinance section 10.05 is a general public nuisance statute which declares a list of items to be public nuisances, and this ordinance would add a 16th category, which would be artificial light and glare. And just to read from the beginning of the ordinance here, it says that it would include any outdoor lighting on residential property which would produce artificial light during periods of darkness with a direct line of sight between the light source and or lamp or its reflection and a point 5 feet or higher above the ground at the property boundary, or which produces glare on or is directed towards the neighboring properties. Before I would go on, I would just point out that that section is kind of in line with a comment that Alderperson Martin made at the last meeting, in that to regulate this issue, maybe the better idea is to not create a set of standards for the light, but actually see what it's doing to neighboring properties. And that is kind of in line with the whole of Section 10, which is public nuisances. So then to carry on with the proposed ordinance here, then it creates a list of 6 exemptions: lighting that is fully shielded or cut off, public street lighting, which is approved to other state standards, and then you have your exception for a total luminous flux of a light fixture that is less than 1,500 lumens, holiday lighting, historic lighting, and then the last exception then would create sort of a grandfather clause, which would mean that after the effective date of this ordinance, anything that doesn't meet the standards of the section would be legal nonconforming unless it was the subject of a complaint made by a resident of the city.
All right, Tom, thank you. Very good explanation. Anybody else have anything on this? Again, this is the first reading, so you'll see this. Go ahead.
I have a question. Are they going to measure the lumens at the property line, or how is that? Or is that just the bulb can't be over so many lumens? Are they going to, is it the lumens property line induced, or is it just the bulb description? I guess that's the question.
Well, so as someone that doesn't really understand lumens and how you would measure them, my guess would be that, what is prohibited is light that's at the property line. So that's your starting point. And then from there, you'd try to figure out if that light is exempt for some other reason.
Okay.
And then you would measure the lumens at that point. So.
Okay.
I didn't want that to turn into an hour discussion again. Dimitri?
Well, I do think it bears maybe clarifying that in the language that is in fact where it's to be measured, because it doesn't say that, and I could see how this could come back to create problems in the future, debating what our intention was when we came up with the language, not knowing and not having been here. I do think it should state that the measurement would be at the neighboring property that is complaining about the.
Doesn't it say that up in the first paragraph? I'm sorry, Tom, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I mean, I know when you look at C, it just talks about the 1,500 initial lumens, but at the top, it does talk about the property line, right in the paragraph.
Well, I think that's what I had kind of meant, was that you're not measuring light as it emits from the source on a house, for example. You're looking at the light as it is perceived at the property line. The idea is that it's a public nuisance and it's bothering, an action of somebody is bothering the public. So I would think that would be where it is.
Yeah, I just think it's not clear the way it's worded. I mean, it does say that the light would have to produce glare directed toward the neighboring properties, but it doesn't say where the measurement of the lumens would take place. And lumens is kind of like sound. Where do you measure the sound? If you measure the sound right next to a speaker, it's going to be at its loudest versus on the other side of a room. So it.
Good. Thanks, Dimitri.
Yeah, that was my point, I guess. Just wondering where we're going to measure.
I actually think it's pretty clear, to tell you the truth, but I appreciate your comments. And we'll find out, I guess. It's the first reading, so we'll see if anybody wants to debate that or have a discussion on that in the future. So, yeah. All right, so again, we'll see this on August 17th. All right, next up, we have a license report. License report number 1550. This is an operator's license. It's on page 102. You can see the individuals that are on there that are requesting an operator's license. We need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second. Motion by Chestnut, second by Peterson, that we approve license report number 1550. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Motion carried. Next up, we have Waupaca Municipal Airport transfer of FAA entitlement funds. And Kathy, we got your name on this one.
Thank you, Mayor. My report is on page 103, which is the last page of the packet. And during our annual review with the Bureau of Aeronautics, it came to be that our 2017 entitlement funds were not going to be spent because they've changed some project when they're going to do approve some projects. And so these funds will expire at the end of this year, and we need to allow BOA to transfer them to another airport project. We will get paid back the $150,000 through another state apportionment CDBG grant that they get. And so we aren't losing any money, but we're helping another airport out on their projects. So we need to have formal action to transfer the entitlement funds to the Iowa County Airport.
So, Kathy, just again, tell us again, how are we protected here?
By signing the entitlement transfer, the State Department of Transportation Bureau of Aeronautics will make up the $150,000 that we did not have spent for the 17 FAA, the federal entitlement funds. So we're just helping them do their moving of money, but we have to give up our hold on the FAA, the federal money, to the Iowa County Airport.
But we will get this same dollar amount back.
Right, when we need it.
When we need it.
Which is part of when we did the capital program with the airport board, and the council approved our updated program. So we have other projects that'll be down the line, and that's when the state will use their additional block grant funds to make us whole.
All right, awesome. So we're looking for a motion to approve this request.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hagan, second by Fair, that the council approves of transferring $150,000 Waupaca Municipal Airport FAA entitlement funds to the Iowa County Airport. Any discussion? Sandy, will call the roll?
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Eric Olson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, nothing under our 30-minute discussion tonight. Communications and recommendations of the mayor. I just, of course, obviously, our next meeting is, city council meeting is 2 weeks from today, August 17th, at 6 p.m., of course, normal time. Those of you that are on City Planning Commission, don't forget we have a City Planning Commission meeting, a regular City Planning Commission meeting tomorrow night, 5:15. I've had some people ask about the City Council meeting. That's the day after Labor Day. Our plan is to still hold that City Council meeting on the 7th, the regular scheduled date, which would be September 7th. And then the City Planning Commission meeting would be the week before that on September 1st. So we would not have 2 meetings in a row that week. Okay, anything else for the good of the meeting?
Mayor, just one more thing. Capital improvement project budget workshop is also August 17th, immediately following the council meeting.
Oh, so it'd be extended. Might want to bring, something to. I got to be careful how I say this.
Something to drink.
Some water. Bring some water with you.
Can I just add one thing? For September 7th meeting, we're having our Inland Lakes public hearing and meeting. That's another thing people can
Okay.
expect.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Hagan. Second by Keelan. God, he's even quick when he's remote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We're adjourned at 7:36 PM. Have a great night, everybody. Drive safe.